The State Security Agency has denied that it authored a report which is currently doing the rounds online. The alleged intelligence document, which purports to have been written by the outgoing Director General Thembisile Majola, claims corruption within the judiciary. The presidency has since dismissed the report as fake. Let's talk about this now with Lawson Naidoo, who's with the Center for the Advancement of the South African Constitution. Lawson, a very good evening to you. Good to have you on News at Prime. So you've got the State Security Agency saying this is not a legitimate report, at least not a report that they put together. But I wonder if that makes any difference, considering that the names of people are already out there, and it's likely that some of the perceptions based on what was said in this document will remain nonetheless.
Good evening, Thembisile. Thank you. Well, I think it's not, it's quite clear that this is a hoax, and, there's no other word to describe it. It has no credibility whatsoever. It did not emanate from the State Security Agency. It was conjured up by somebody with a very vivid imagination. It was spreading rumors and gossip, and this report should be dismissed and should be given no credibility whatsoever. And the allegations that are contained in it should likewise be dismissed, because they have a very serious and dangerous potential impact in terms of undermining the integrity of the judiciary and the judicial officers that are named in this hoax report.
But is that damage not already done, Lawson? Because there are people who, even after the State Security Agency issued a statement, are still not swayed, and they say basically it's an attempt to cover up what is a legitimate finding, even if the State Security Agency is saying, as it's done, that they have not put this together.
Well, it's not a legitimate finding. As I say, it's the work of someone's imagination. There's no evidence to back this up. And it is unfortunate that it casts, serious aspersions on the integrity of some of our judicial officers. And I think the responsible thing to do right now is to dismiss this report and not give it any credibility whatsoever. It is unfortunate that it has gained the traction it has primarily on social media, and it will obviously be used by those for whom it is politically convenient to portray sections of the judiciary as being captured, because as we know, as prosecutions endure for corruption and state capture, there are many people who in political parties who may feel the wrath of the law, and it serves their interest that a report such as this, should be given more airtime in order to assist them in their battles with the legal system when they arise.
But the fact that it's caught on in the way that it has, and that even after the relevant agencies have said it's not a report that they've authored, yet people still want to hold on to the unverified claims in this, the allegations, if we can call it that, speaks to something in society, does it not? The broken relationship, between South Africans and their government, the lack of trust in government and what it says, but also the way in which the relationship between the country's politicians and judges has had a spillover effect directly and impacting the way in which South Africans respond to things and what they choose to believe, whether there's evidence to the contrary or not. Yeah.
No, I think you're correct there, Thembisile. This is a trend, and the relationship of trust between the state and the citizens, has suffered largely as a result of the era of state capture, when institutions of governance, went astray, and the fact of the state of the country and the economy and the circumstances of ordinary people, with the government seeming having failed to deliver on its mandates. So there is this break in trust between institutions of governance, including the judiciary and the general public. Mm-hmm. But we must not allow, such a false report such as this to sway that any further. And in reference to your point earlier, that you talked about allegations. I don't even think that this report deserves, be called even allegations. It's just, as I say, wild rumor that is highly irresponsible and potentially detrimental, to our democracy. And we've got to make sure that the perceptions that are being bandied around do not gain further traction, and that we act to preserve the integrity of the judiciary. I remember a few years ago when similar allegations arose, then Chief Justice Mogoeng urged those that have any evidence of corrupt practices by members of the judiciary to bring those forward. There has been none that has been forthcoming, so we really can't give credence to rumors such as these.
Is there room, is there space for perhaps a wide-scale investigation that would look at whether indeed any of our judges are corrupt? Is there room? Is it even a practical consideration?
Well, in the absence of any evidence whatsoever, Tembekile, I don't see why that should be done. It merely feeds this perception that the judiciary is captured or that it is corrupt. And there's no such evidence of that. I don't think I think that having any kind of investigation, whether by a parliamentary committee or anyone else, gives credence to these allegations. And as I'm at pains to point out, I don't think we should be giving any credence to these allegations, to this rumors, and this highly, potentially highly damaging report that has, no basis in fact or in law.
And News 24 say they've spoken, in fact, to the author of the report, Anthony Brink. They describe him as an advocate who has waged a litigious war against Legal Aid South Africa over its decision not to employ him. They then go on to quote him saying that, in fact, in response to their questions, he said that Abantu Holomisa, leader of the UDM, who shared this online and called for Parliament to hold a sitting on this, missed that the report is a specimen draft, i.e. that it is basically not a finalized document from an established intelligence source. What then is the aim?
Well, again, it's quite clear from what you've just said, Tembekile, that this was drafted by Mr. Anthony Brink, someone who's clearly, was dissatisfied with the fact that he didn't get a position that he sought at the Legal Aid Board. It therefore, as I keep saying, cannot be given any credence. I think it was irresponsible of General Holomisa to make his letter to the Parliamentary Committee public, because it's quite clear in the document itself. Mr. Brink says that he is the author of this report, that it cannot even be considered a draft report. He is not an intelligence operative, as far as I'm aware. So on what basis did he even prepare this report and have the temerity to send it to the State Security Agency and the Presidency?
Mm. What then does Parliament do? Because General Holomisa, leader of the UDM, in fact wanted the Committee on Intelligence to look into this. Do they also just ignore it?
Well, I think on the basis of the statement that we've now received from the State Security Agency dismissing this hoax report, that there's really nothing for the Parliamentary Committee to consider or investigate.
Lawson Naidoo, good to speak to you. Lawson is with the Centre for the Advancement of the South African Constitution. Thank you for your time.